A sudden movement flashes through the forest as the yellow-throated marten closes in. It moves in quickly, stays relentless, and gives almost no time for a response. The target is forced backward, while even other predators hesitate for a moment. Deep within the dense wilderness, this small hunter creates pressure through pure speed alone. Once it begins to accelerate, which side can still hold the advantage? Yellow-throated marten is a small carnivorous mammal found across many forests throughout Asia. Its slender body, balancing tail, and agile legs allow it to move with remarkable speed. Its diet is highly varied, ranging from wild fruits to birds, reptiles, and small mammals. That adaptability makes it a bold and unpredictable hunter in the wild. Within natural ecosystems, this marten also plays an important role in maintaining ecological balance. Hares are known as symbols of alertness. Their sensitive ears and ability to burst up to about 45 miles per hour help them escape danger on the ground. But in the forest, speed is not always an absolute shield. When the yellow-throated marten follows the hare's scent trail, it rarely chooses a direct confrontation. The small predator slips through the undergrowth, changes direction quickly, and uses tree trunks, fallen logs, and leaf litter as cover. With its slender body, flexible legs, and sharp reflexes, it closes the distance through persistence rather than strength. Unlike the stoat, the so-called hypnotic dance is not a clearly documented typical strategy of the yellow-throated marten. This species is better known for its ability to pursue, climb, and sometimes hunt in pairs or small groups. As the hare changes direction through the narrow forest, the marten continues to apply pressure, forcing its opponent to spend energy with every movement. When the cold season covers the forest floor with deep snow, the chase becomes even more tense. At times, it can stretch on for a long while, but for the marten, the cold does not reduce its need for energy. It only makes every hunting opportunity more valuable. The encounter ends with one lesson. The advantage does not belong only to speed, but also to endurance and timing. In the forests of Asia, the yellow-throated marten stands out as a small yet bold predator. Though often considered solitary, it can coordinate in pairs when the opportunity arises. Weighing only around 7 pounds, this marten is still capable of putting pressure on much larger opponents. In Jim Corbett National Park, one observation recorded 2 individuals taking turns closing in on an adult Rhesus Macaque. They maintained just enough distance to force the monkey to keep turning in defense. Each moment of slower reaction created a new opening, gradually increasing the pressure over time. In another situation, A single marten approached a large Rhesus macaque. Weighing about 17 pounds, the monkey resisted intensely, but age had reduced its reflexes. Meanwhile, the marten kept shifting direction, maintaining pressure and steadily wearing down its opponent's stamina. The standoff continued for several minutes before the balance clearly shifted. In the wild, speed is not everything. Intelligence and coordination are what ultimately determine the outcome. The yellow-throated marten is a small predator, yet notably bold in the wild. It does not hunt only on the ground. It uses its flexible body to move quickly through the high canopy. Beneath the dense forest cover, one individual pursues a crow through a maze of branches. When the distance cannot be closed, it is forced to pause. With leaps of up to about 13 feet, it attempts to bridge the gap between them. In response, the crow drops to a lower height and releases sharp warning calls, asserting control of the airspace. When a direct approach proves ineffective, the marten shifts strategy. In low light, it follows the scent traces of birds with a keen sense of smell. Instead of chasing, it searches for nests high above. With sharp claws and strong balance, it can reach positions that are difficult to access. From small birds to larger species, all can become potential targets. Eggs and nestlings are the most vulnerable. Even adult birds, such as long-billed waterfowl, are not always safe when caught off guard. In the wild, a single retreat is not a failure. It is an adjustment to find a more effective opportunity. The forest is never truly silent. As squirrels leave their nests to forage, the yellow-throated marten joins the moment. There is no signal, no second chance. Every movement is observed, every misstep is exploited. In this pursuit, a single moment of exposure can create serious risk. Instead of rushing straight in, the predator constantly shifts direction, using interwoven branches high above to approach. Each advance is slow but precise, creating almost no disturbance in the surrounding environment. In Estes Park, one chase unfolds around a large tree trunk. The wary squirrel changes direction repeatedly, relying on reflex to escape. Meanwhile, the marten stays close, maintaining pressure for several minutes. With an ankle structure that can rotate nearly 180 degrees, it changes direction in an instant, turning vertical surfaces into a movement advantage. The two circle continuously, like a test of endurance and focus. At times, the marten disappears from view, leaving the target disoriented. But even a small mistake can shift the outcome. With a hunting success rate often below 15%, each meal becomes a result of persistence. The yellow-throated marten quietly moves from the canopy down to the ground, its eyes carefully watching every small movement in the tall grass. Nearby, a domestic cat is foraging around the edge of a residential area, remaining alert to any strange sounds. Without warning, the marten rushes in quickly. It uses surprise and speed to close the distance. The cat reacts immediately, arching its back, growling softly, and backing away to maintain a safe distance. In just a few seconds, the tension sharply rises, and then the cat turns and flees to escape the danger. In another situation, a marten sneaks around an area with food. But when it encounters a larger and stronger cat, it quickly recognizes the risk. Choosing not to confront it, the marten immediately retreats, disappearing into the bushes to stay safe. Even a young ocelot can be overwhelmed when it lacks the ability to fight back or escape. However, in nature, no creature truly stands above all others. In rare instances, the yellow-throated marten can become prey for larger predators, including the leopard. At the edge of a northern forest, where wetlands and grasslands blend together, an elk calf stays close behind its mother, moving through the open gaps. Weighing around 30 pounds, the newborn is still agile, but it remains fully dependent on the vigilance of the adult elk. The experienced yellow-throated marten never seeks a direct confrontation with powerful adult elk. Instead, it waits patiently in concealment. It reacts at the exact moment the calf loses rhythm, drifting slightly outside the protective range of its mother, and begins to circle in from a wider angle. Another member of the herd shows signs of intervening, but the situation is too uncertain, and it quickly withdraws. At times, the pressure is not delivered through a sudden move. It comes from continuous pursuit, forcing the young animal to navigate unstable, muddy ground. With each brief hesitation, the distance to safety narrows by just a few inches. Without the speed or experience to fully break away from a persistent predator, the chase quickly turns in the marten's favor. In the wild, opportunities rarely last long. Survival belongs to those who choose their moment carefully, maintain disciplined distance, and withdraw decisively before risk outweighs advantage. Deep within the dense forest canopy, the reproductive cycle of the marten is a marvel of evolution. Mating occurs in the summer, but the embryos delay their development to wait out the harsh winter. In early spring, the mother marten carefully selects a secluded tree hollow to make her nest. Here, 2 to 3 tiny kits are born. They are incredibly fragile, blind, and hairless, relying entirely on their mother. As her instincts take over, the mother becomes a resilient warrior, hunting tirelessly to provide nourishment for her young. More than a month later, the young martens open their eyes and grow a beautiful coat of fur. Under the strict training of their mother, they sharply hone their survival skills. When autumn arrives, these proud young hunters leave the nest. A single movement in the grass, and the chase erupts instantly. The lion surges forward like a living arrow, forcing both prey and nearby rivals to hesitate. Amid the stifling heat of the wild, it emerges as the center of raw power. Each turn it controls, each measured push tightens the grip of the savanna's ruler. In the end, what force could truly shake that throne? Across the vast savanna, zebras are not simply gentle wanderers. They rank among the most alert, hoofed animals on the grasslands. Weighing around 900 pounds, they carry rear legs strong enough to produce a powerful counterforce that any predator must carefully consider. For a lioness, this has never been a chase built on strength alone. From the edge of the short grass, she keeps her body low to the ground and waits for one individual to drift slightly out of formation. The distance closes little by little. Only when the target moves into the right position does the lioness burst forward, attacking from an angle rather than head-on. The key to the hunt is not the first surge, but the way she disrupts the prey's momentum, shifts its direction, and leaves it without enough room to use its rear legs effectively. Everything happens quickly, cleanly, and with careful use of energy. Hunts like these do more than feed the pride. In many ecosystems, predation pressure also shapes how zebras move, where they choose to graze, and how far they stay from risky ground. On the savanna, true power lies not only in strength, but in the ability to control timing and space. Across the harsh grasslands of Africa, the African buffalo remains one of the most challenging targets for lions. An adult can weigh around 1,800 pounds, carrying thick, curved horns and maintaining remarkable stability under pressure. Because of its high energy value, it remains a risk the pride is willing to take. Along the edges of tall grass, the lions lower their bodies, observing for long stretches and waiting for an individual that slows or drifts from formation. Only when the gap is small enough does the approach begin. Working together, they narrow the buffalo's turning space, guiding it into a disadvantage. But the buffalo does not lose control easily. It lowers its head, holds its center of balance, and can surge to about 37 miles per hour. A single well-timed response is often enough to disrupt the lion's advance. The greater risk for the lions comes when the alarm spreads. From behind, the herd turns back as a unified force, closing gaps and reclaiming control. When that happens, the hunt often comes to an end. On the savanna, strength is not defined by the first charge alone. At times, it lies in the ability to stand together at the right moment. The wildebeest stands as a symbol of Africa's migratory rhythm. Weighing around 600 pounds and moving in large herds, it gains strength through numbers. Yet constant travel across open grasslands and frequent visits to water sources also make it a familiar target for lions. Even so, this is not an easy animal to outmaneuver. Wildebeest are strong, alert, and capable of rapid direction changes as the herd surges forward, reaching speeds of about 50 miles per hour. For that reason, lions rarely rely on a rushed charge. Instead, patience defines the approach. Hidden within golden grass, the predator lowers its body, conceals its outline, and waits for the herd to pass along a favorable path. When the distance narrows to just a few strides, the ambush unfolds. The focus is often on individuals that are younger, slower, or briefly separated from the group. At that moment, short bursts of pursuit become most effective, as each step forward gradually limits any chance of escape. Even so, a lion's success rate is typically below 30%. Every close approach demands precise judgment. On the savanna, success is shaped not only by strength, but by patience, coordination, and the ability to turn a brief opportunity into survival for the entire pride. In the wild, lions do not only face prey or other predators. At times, the greatest challenge comes from their own kind. These encounters often center on territory, breeding opportunities, and leadership within the pride. When a newcomer enters an already claimed range, the atmosphere shifts immediately. Weighing around 420 pounds, each step carries visible pressure across the savanna. The distance between the two lions steadily closes. Roars rise, not only as a warning, but as a way to test the other's response and resolve. Within seconds, the standoff turns into direct confrontation. They do not rush in recklessly, but use body weight, shoulders, neck strength, and controlled pressure to force the other off balance. The encounter becomes more than a display of strength. It is a test of endurance, timing, and the ability to hold position under intense pressure. If one begins to yield, the outcome is almost certain. The victor secures control of the pride and its critical territory. The defeated must leave, waiting for another opportunity across the vast and unforgiving savanna. Yet even the winner cannot hold that position for long. In the wild, a male lion typically maintains dominance for only about 2 to 3 years before being replaced. The river may appear calm, but beneath the surface lies an ancient danger. The crocodile remains nearly invisible, blending into mud and still water, waiting with absolute patience. With a bite force of around 3,700 pounds per square inch, it is a rival capable of shifting the outcome within seconds. When lions cross the river, they are no longer in familiar territory. Each step becomes more cautious, as even a slight misstep can open the way for a sudden strike from below. These encounters unfold quickly, often with little warning. The risk becomes even greater for younger individuals. Curiosity or inexperience can bring them too close to the water's edge, where the line between safety and danger grows thin. In that environment, even a brief delay in response can carry serious consequences. Lions may command the land, but at the meeting point between sand and current, the advantage shifts instantly. There, control does not belong to a single species, but to the place where the encounter unfolds. On the African savanna, hyenas and lions have long stood as direct rivals. Whenever the two appear near each other, the atmosphere shifts quickly. Weighing around 150 pounds, hyenas possess powerful jaws and a strong advantage in numbers, making them far from easy to dominate. When lions are holding a recent catch, hyenas often gather at the edges of the area. Using their numerical strength, they form loud, shifting circles, applying pressure from multiple directions to wear down the lioness's resolve. However, the dynamic can change entirely when the dominant male arrives. With a body size far exceeding that of any single hyena, just a few firm steps forward can disrupt the group's formation. At times, lions also carry out extended pressure tactics, moving through rival den areas to signal clear boundaries of control. In the wild, this ongoing rivalry has become part of an unspoken and enduring balance. No matter how persistent or numerous they are, hyenas often yield when faced with the presence of the pride's dominant force. Among the lion's natural rivals, the African wild dog is one of the few fast and bold enough to demand its attention. Much smaller in size, they hunt in tightly coordinated packs and can sustain speeds of around 44 miles per hour during extended pursuits. That level of coordination allows them to succeed in moments where even the smallest mistake carries a cost. Yet that same mobility often brings them too close to the lion's sphere of pressure. When a young pack moves near an active hunting area, the rhythm of the grassland shifts almost instantly. A male lion appears. It does not need a prolonged chase, only the right position, waiting for the pack's formation to stretch, then delivering a short, decisive advance. With just a few well-timed strides, the pack's momentum is broken, exposing the first individual that falls out of sync within the opening that forms. Even after securing a catch, wild dogs struggle to maintain their advantage if they are too close to lion territory. The presence of the dominant predator can reverse the balance in moments. This is not only about food, but about how the lion asserts control over its range. On the savanna, the dominant force does not need extended confrontation. With precise timing, order is restored. Yellow-throated marten may not be large, but it is remarkably relentless and unpredictable. Each encounter reveals the speed and sharp reflexes that define this agile hunter. In the wild, the advantage often belongs to the one that reacts at the perfect moment. Deep within the forest, it continues to move quietly, waiting for the next opportunity. If you enjoy wild stories like these, please like and subscribe for more.